Hello and welcome. What will be India's game plan is what we are discussing as part of our 12 noon show. The first day, it was 55-45 to England is what the two of us said on our end of day show. England was kind of in control, at least after the fourth wicket fell. That partnership between Joe Root and Ben Stokes gave them that little bit of advantage. Having said that, India was also very disciplined. At no point did they let England run away with anything. 3 runs and over is not Bazball. 3 runs and over is attritional, conventional test match cricket, which is what India pushed England to do. England did change track. The ethos of England cricket in recent times has been different. This was a very different kind of England on show. Fans were turning restless, but that's what the beauty of test cricket is about. So India pushed England to go back to playing conventional cricket, wanting to bat first after winning the toss. Now, I think India is 1 wicket less. Should have been 5 down, India's day. 4 down means it's still England with 2 batters in. Root on 99, well capable of scoring a big ton. And if he does that, England will get to 450, 500 on a good batting deck at Lords. How does India preempt that? How does India stop that? The second new ball is 3 overs old. That's Gargi, our show for now. That's what she and I will be discussing. What do you reckon should be the strategy in the first hour? Let's try and break this down.
Absolutely. But before that, I want to look back on everything that happened yesterday. And I think in some way or the other, India has a moral victory here, even before the match gets anywhere else. Because you've put England on the back foot. You've forced them to change their strategy. You forced Ben Stokes to put aside his ego and put India to bowl first. Otherwise, I think if England had won at Edgbaston,
then they would have continued.
They would have continued their "we will chase down anything" arrogance at that point. I think that's a moral victory, and I think that's what India should take a lot of confidence from that, because you've really pushed England on the back foot. You forced them to play conventional cricket. You saw Ben Duckett and a Zach Crawley and the other batters as well. Ben Stokes also playing very, very cautiously, not trying too many audacious shots. So you see that England has also sort of reined back in. So at this point, you have a moral ground, or you have a mental upper hand at this point. Now, when you look back on the bowling as well, there are no complaints. I don't think the Indian fans should complain at this point, because they bowled very, very disciplined lines. Akash was getting a lot of swing. Yes, you could have seen a few breakthroughs from him, but Zach Crawley in that first session was very, very lucky. Nitish Kumar Reddy, I mean, come on, he was getting that ball to swing, got those 2 breakthroughs in 1 over, one after the other. Ben Duckett, then Zach Crawley, and Jasprit Bumrah was brilliant as always. Now, when you talk about today, what does the Indian team need to do today? The ball is still new, just 2 overs old. You still have that 1 hour that is very, very crucial. You have a Joe Root and a Ben Stokes. Now, your biggest challenge here is to get Joe Root out, because if he scores, or if he gets settled once again, then he will score big. He will go past 150. He might even get a double century, because he is just looking that solid. I know that in Edgbaston, we kept talking about Shubman Gill and how flawless he looked, and how chanceless his centuries were. Now, I think that's something similar that we're also looking at Joe Root here. When I look back on yesterday, I do not remember Joe Root looking too uncomfortable or too stuck up or anything like that. He looked very effortless, very pleasing on the eye, and also was batting easy.
I thought Nitish Reddy did trouble him at the start of the innings, but after that he was well and truly in control.
Yeah.
So yes, Joe Root is the big fish. Lord's big occasion. We've been talking about this. In fact, a lot of people said on the show, "Why are you talking up Joe Root?" If you remember, and we kept saying it is Joe Root, not Jamie Smith yet. Joe Root is the big boy of this England team. Joe Root, absolutely a special batter. According to me, the best batter in the world by far, Joe Root. And once he gets in, he goes big, he scores big, England in control. And that's where it becomes seriously problematic for India. One has to take that Joe Root wicket up front with the second new ball. Jasprit Bumrah bowled well to Joe Root. He got the ball to come in. At least when Joe Root had come in, he was trying to get him LBW. He was trying to get the ball to come in and then get one to shape away. Jasprit Bumrah will have the responsibility. 10 times he has already picked Joe Root in his career. So Jasprit Bumrah will have the responsibility of getting Joe Root early. India gets in early. India gets two. India gets two, and automatically you will see England now peg back because runs haven't come. This is not a 350 for 4. It is a 250 for 4. So it's not a day where England will say, oh, you've taken the day away and India on the back foot and all of that. No, India has been disciplined. India has kept control. The lid on the scoring rate is as critical as anything. So 2 wickets in that first session with the second new ball. If in the first hour, nothing like it, and all of a sudden you will see that the match change. You will see the game going towards India.
And I think that second session was the decider there. We talk about a shared day for India and England. 55-45 is what we said yesterday in that post-match live. But also when you look at that, there were periods of play where England did not get any runs and they were really struggling to move that scoreboard and keep that scoreboard moving. I think in that second session, there were about 28-29 deliveries where there were no runs scored, and that's where the real pressure was built. And you could tell that's where the wicket comes, right? When you put on that much pressure, the batters are itching to get some runs, even if it's a single, even if it's a double. And in England's case, because they are so used to that Bazball approach, they will try unusual shots. They will try those audacious or a reverse sweep or something like that. They will try that. You saw that happening in the first session when Zach Crawley had that little back and forth with Akashdeep. He was trying to step out and score some runs. Nothing was happening there. He was just trying to put the pressure back on Akashdeep because Akashdeep had put him back in his crease, put Zach Crawley because he was standing almost a foot outside his crease before that before the short leg was put on. So you saw that back and forth of pressure happening. Now, it's not like India did badly, not at all. And not too many runs were scored either. And that's because there were periods of time when there was so much pressure on the England batters. Joe Root and Ben Stokes handled that very well.
Even the spinners bowled well. They were tight. Yeah. Washington Sundar was tight. Ravindra Jadeja was tight. In fact, that ball of Ravindra Jadeja that kicked and jumped was quite funny on day one.
Yes.
You know, it was interesting. It was interesting. I mean, very, very interesting. So hopefully, hopefully the second new ball will do the trick. Hopefully the second new ball will do the trick for India.
And I think at this point you only have about half a day, or let's say 2 sessions till the pitch starts or let's say stops giving you the juice that it's giving you right now, because it's so hot, the sun is baking. I think it will flatten out today.
The wicket is not
the problem.
Not the problem. The issue is now the second new ball.
Oh yeah.
The issue is now the second new ball, and can India make the second new ball talk? So when we say game plan, India's game plan to decode the first 10 overs has to be 5 overs of Jasprit, 5 overs of Akashdeep, and then Mohammad Siraj comes in again with a big burst. You've got to bowl all heart. You've got to take 2-3 wickets in the first session, push England back. At luncheon break, England 350 for 7, game on. And you've got to believe that you can take multiple wickets with the second new ball, because the ball was doing a bit in the morning, and you saw England could have lost at least a couple more wickets in the first session.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
At least a couple more wickets. So that's what India needs to believe. India needs to believe that they've got to be steady. India needs to believe that this can be done. India needs to believe that in the first day, in all of the 3 sessions, at no point in time did England manage to take control. And that is the big plus as far as I am concerned. That's the big plus.
His road. Okay, anyway, we will answer that later, but I don't think so. Anyway, the thing that I was talking about, I was going back to the point. Oh, yes. The point that I was making here was England did give you a lot of chances. Look back on that first session. Jack Crawley alone could have been out like 5 times, but he was lucky. There were some. Oh, quite an interesting point. The ball is already not carrying, and you saw something similar happen back in in the WTC final as well. And the wicket keepers and the slips had to come forward a little bit. Now, what do you think about that? What's the strategy for today? Does Rishabh Pant stand closer if he is coming back into the game?
Some balls did. Firstly, you said Rishabh Pant. I hope you're right.
Yeah.
You said Rishabh Pant, and I do hope that Rishabh Pant kind of takes that call again, and Rishabh Pant comes and takes the glove back from Dhruv Jurel. That's something that one has to kind of think. I sincerely hope that Rishabh is able to resume duty. So that's first point. Second point, I do think some balls kicked and jumped. I think some balls did a bit. So a couple of balls kept low. So if this kind of continues as the match progresses, then it's a bit of a problem. I don't think, maybe the slips can come one step forward. It will depend on the wicket keeper. Whatever it is, I want to see intensity in the first session. I want to see serious intensity from India in the first session. I do think it can be done. I think the new ball is exactly what India needed. The new ball is just 3 overs old. You already saw one Akashdeep ball. Joe Root could have been out there. You saw a couple of deliveries of Jasprit Bumrah where stifled appeals happened when he was sort of bowling down he was getting Ben Stokes to kind of cramp up. Slightly leg side-ish, but there were opportunities there for Jasprit Bumrah. You've got to come hard, Garg. You've got to come very hard, believing that the second new ball will do the trick. You let England off the hook with the second new ball, this game will go out of control.
You do not want to see another 500, 600 runs scored in the first innings. You do not want that to happen. You do not want it to go till the final session. I am talking from India's perspective.
100%.
You do not want it to go to the final session and be all of it left up to fate. Because honestly, the 600 run or even 500 or even 450 on this wicket, even a 450 plus or a 500 plus scoreboard total on the scoreboard will be a lot of pressure, and you saw what that pressure does. You saw what happened to England. They eventually crumbled, and you know that Jofra Archer is back in the team. Chris Woakes has an average of 12 at Lords. Brydon Cast has been bowling really well. Ben Stokes also has been bowling well. So when you look at England's bowling lineup, you can't undermine that lineup either.
Not at all.
Not at all. And you have to be very, very wary because they will move the ball as well. And with the new ball, Chris Woakes and Brydon Cast have looked absolutely lethal. Now, we haven't seen Jofra Archer bowl. We were waiting on match day -1. We were waiting for him to get into the nets and give us a glimpse of what he's been working on, because from what we heard, he has been bowling really fast in the nets. So we don't know what's going on with Jofra Archer, but if he is also a strong addition to the bowling lineup, then you're not in trouble, but you have to be cautious of that pace attack. Shoaib Bashir, if the pitch starts scruffing up, then you have to be wary of him as well. So really, you're batting second. You have to make sure that you get the best out of the new ball tomorrow, or is going to be pressure on you.
Totally right. The second new ball could well be the decider for India in this game. If you let England off the hook with the second new ball and Stokes and Root take this game away, and don't forget Jamie Smith, the man in form, is coming next, and he will be aggressive. Jamie Smith will come and play his shots, and he can be really aggressive. He scores more than a run a ball, very like Rishabh Pant, can change momentum right away. A 40 ball 50, and all of a sudden you will see in no time that the game has gone beyond you. That's something that India has to guard against. That's something that's going to be very, very critical for India. You've got to keep all of these things in mind. I sincerely hope India makes use of that new ball. Otherwise, it could be a bad leather hunt. That's what we will be waiting for. An impressive burst from Bumrah, at least a wicket, if not 2. An impressive burst from Akashdeep, and an impressive burst from Siraj with some backup stuff from Nitish Kumar Reddy. India did not lose day 1. They were in the hunt despite losing the toss, despite Ben Stokes opting to bat on a good wicket, despite the ball not doing as much as you would expect in England at Lords on day 1. There was some assistance, but nothing exaggerated. India still in this contest big
Absolutely.
time. And that is because of the disciplined lengths and lines that the Indians bowled. Credit to them for that. Can they hold on? Can they keep the leash on England? Can they keep the leash on England? Because England will also know that they've got to bowl India out twice. So they will also need time. India has batted superbly well. All of this makes it an intriguing day. Once again, a first session which will be pivotal. The two of us will be back 1:45 India time, 9:15 local, as we start our live from Lords. It's the red day. So hopefully you will see a lot of red around for a very good cause. Children who have lost their parents, we will also make our contributions and make it a memorable day. Thank you very much, folks, as always.